We have made some progress. This is the T-style guitar build that I started talking about here on the channel a few weeks ago. So I wanted to show you a quick update, some of the progress that I've made over the past few days, and also some lessons learned. I know you're looking at this guitar and saying, what in the world are you showing me? That is not a complete guitar. And you're exactly right. There's still much more to be done on this instrument, but basically what my goal here was to try to get the parts assembled to the bare bones way so that I could test the setup. You know, how would the neck be? Would I be able to get the intonation and the action pretty close to usable? Would it end up as a playable guitar at the end of this? I kind of wanted to do that first before I went through everything else on the guitar. And I'm happy to say I think we kind of hit that ballpark. This is definitely a playable instrument, and it's going to get even better once the setup is complete. Let me show you what we've done so far. I started with the neck, and I wanted to check it first. This is from Warmoth. Again, if you're interested in any of the parts or some of the things that are in the video, first check the links in the description below, but then you can also check the video where I went over some of the parts already here on the channel. So the first thing I wanted to do was check the neck and see how the frets were. And there were some high and low spots, but it's to be expected because Warmoth says, you know, there's no fretwork that's done on the necks before they come to you, so that's okay. I basically wanted to look at it though, so that at least I had a bit of an idea as to what other work might be necessary on the guitar once it's put together to get the setup totally finished. The next step was preparing the neck pocket. On this Alan Eden T-style body, when I test fit the parts, I already knew that the pocket had to be opened up just a little bit. Both of the sides were kind of cramping it, and the neck wasn't able to fit. So there's probably plenty of better ways to do this. I'm no expert, but I accomplished it just with some 80 grit sandpaper and a sanding beam. And then eventually I got it squared away to where I could get the neck in. And currently it's held together with a neck plate and the screws from my road-worn Telly. That's just temporary until I put a neck plate that I'm going to keep on this guitar and finish out the setup. But again, I just wanted to get it kind of squared away to where I could test everything. To me, the big task for this part of the project was getting the bridge mounted in the right spot. Now, we already have the pickup route and the string through holes on this guitar, so it should have been easy, but I'm pretty sure I probably overcomplicated it for myself. Again, first time doing it, and you know, you always learn some things along the way. But my idea here was I just wanted to definitely make sure that I had enough room to make the intonation adjustments on the guitar so that I wouldn't run out of space with the hardware that I had. So on this guitar, I went a little cautious and I mounted the bridge just a little bit forward on the guitar. Everything fits fine. The strings go through fine. The intonation is proper now for this temporary setup. The only thing that you'll see is you can see the string through holes peeking out from underneath the bridge just a little bit. Now, I knew this was going to happen. It wasn't like I did it and then looked and saw that the holes were there. I consciously put it just a little bit forward. Again, I just wanted to make sure that I had room and the bridge was in the right spot. Now, after I've done this whole test setup and everything, looking back, now I know that I can put that bridge about a 1/16 of an inch back, completely cover those holes. It'll be just fine. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's not stressing me out that you can see those holes. I don't think it's a big deal, especially on, you know, a first-time build like this. I installed an electro socket jack for the output jack on this guitar. These are definitely my favorite to put on Telecasters and similar body styles. I mean, they stay in place, they don't move, and you don't have to worry about the jack pretty much ever coming undone. And that's a huge plus in my book. I did have to open up the hole just a little bit to get it to fit. Again, I accomplished that with some 80 grit sandpaper, the same stuff that I used to open up the neck pocket. And there's my second lesson learned on this build. Be patient when using the sandpaper. And, you really don't want to slip and scratch a hole in part of the finish there. Again, not a huge deal. This is my guitar, this is not somebody else's. But sometimes we get a little impatient when we're working on our own stuff. That is the second lesson learned. I know it's a stupid mistake, but I'm not embarrassed to show it here. Again, this is all in the interest of sharing and learning. Not a big deal. The last thing on this body was to install the string ferrules that I already had. These are direct from Fender. I've had these for probably like 4 years from a project that I never actually took on. I'm happy to finally be using them. Now, they were a little bit big for the string through holes in this guitar, so I opened them up with a 5/16 drill bit by hand, trying to just be careful to see if I can get them to fit in there. Any of the places where I needed a little bit more and I couldn't do it by hand, I just made a creative use of an adjustable wrench as a handle to the drill bit. Again, there's probably a better way to do this, but I thought it was a pretty good solution at the time. Worked out just fine. You'll notice that the string ferrules sit on top of the body. They're not recessed and sit flush. That's something that I can go back and adjust, I think, but I'm still not sure if I'm going to do that. I might just leave them sitting on top of the body. If you have a thought on it, let me know in the comment section down below. Finally, I put the Hipshot locking tuners on this guitar like I talked about in the other video, and first time using these, but I have to say I like them a lot. They're super smooth. I like the staggered posts. And one thing about the locking tuners, kind of a nice little touch, is they make it super easy when you're making minor setup adjustments and getting the guitar dialed in a little bit. You know, it's just nice to have the strings locked in there. You can loosen them up all the way and you don't have to worry about them coming out. So to me, that's kind of nice. I don't have locking tuners on any of the other guitars that I play right now. So the Hipshots, A+. So overall, I think I'm in the ballpark of having a pretty sweet, nice looking T-style parts guitar. You see I have a temporary pickup installed in the guitar, and I did that just to, try and test everything out. I got some messy wiring in there, just straight to the output jack. But I kind of wanted to just get it in a place where I could play it, plug it in a little bit, and see how it felt. So next steps on this guitar, of course, we have to do the permanent pickup install. I'm still deciding on those. We need a pick guard, miscellaneous hardware like the strap buttons and things like that. And other than that, I think we just have a final setup to do on the guitar. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this one wraps up. As always, if you have any comments, observations, suggestions for me, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll look forward to seeing those. Hit that like button to help out the channel, and be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you in the next one.